All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going to crack open a huge McKinsey study to find the hidden engine that powers the world's most successful companies. It's all about their people. And trust me, the answer is probably not what you're thinking. So, let's get into it. You always wonder, what is the real secret? Is it some amazing new product, a genius marketing plan, or is it something deeper, something actually built into the DNA of the company? Well, that's the big question we're tackling today. And check this out. The companies McKinsey looked at weren't just doing okay. They were generating an 18% annual return for over a decade. I mean, they were absolutely crushing the S&P 500. This was no action. They were clearly playing a different game, and they were winning big. And that different game wasn't some magic bullet. Nope. What the researchers found was a shared mindset, a really powerful, three-part framework for managing the most important part of any company, its people.
And here they are, the 3 pillars of people performance. First, a people strategy that is tailored specifically to the business. Second, mastering the universal best practices of how to actually do it. And third, and this is huge, having critical leadership that drives the whole thing. This is our roadmap. So let's start with pillar number 1, tailoring your strategy. And if you take away only one thing from this section, let it be this. When it comes to people, one size absolutely, positively does not fit all.
See, a people strategy isn't just some folder in the HR department. It's everything. It's who you hire, how you grow them, how you pay them. And in the very best companies, every single one of those choices is laser-focused on fueling their main business goal. It's not an afterthought, it's the engine. And to really see this in action, we're going to look at 2 absolute giants from the study who could not have been more different, Hewlett-Packard and PepsiCo. Both were at the top of their game, but their playbooks for managing people were polar opposites.
It all started with what they were trying to do. HP was playing the long game, win with slow, steady innovation and amazing product quality. PepsiCo, on the other hand, was in a street fight. They were all about fast, aggressive growth, winning market battles one block at a time.
And this is where it gets really fascinating. Look how those goals created totally different systems. At HP, they grew their own talent, promoting from within to build this really tight long-term culture. PepsiCo, they hired experienced people from outside at every level to get skills fast. HP motivated with pride in your work. They didn't even have cash bonuses. PepsiCo was all about pay for performance, with bonuses that could be massive. At HP, it was a career for life. At PepsiCo, it was basically grow or go.
I love this quote because it just perfectly sums up the HP way. It was a whole culture built on trust. If you want breakthrough innovation, you have to give brilliant people the space to figure things out. You can't just order it from the top down.
So you might be thinking, if the strategy is so different from company to company, is anything the same? And the answer is a huge yes. That brings us to pillar 2, universal best practices. Because while the what changes, the how of great execution is surprisingly consistent.
Just because HP and PepsiCo had completely different strategies doesn't mean they were just winging it. It was the exact opposite. They were both absolutely obsessed with nailing the fundamentals, recruiting, development, performance reviews, with total, uncompromising excellence.
And this quote just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Your strategy could be the best in the world on paper, but if you don't have the right people to make it happen, it's completely worthless. Getting the fundamentals right is the price of admission to the big leagues.
So let's talk recruiting. Great companies are always recruiting. They're not just waiting for people to apply. They know exactly who they're looking for, they invest real money to find them, and they work hard to sell the best candidates on why they should join. And, critically, the hiring managers are in the driver's seat, not just HR. Okay, so you've hired amazing people. Now how do you grow them? Well, here's the core philosophy. It's not about sending them to a bunch of training classes. The real growth, the real learning, happens by giving them their next challenging job. So what does that look like? It means giving people honest, direct feedback. It means moving them around the company to get new experiences. And now this is really important. It means investing more in your highest potential people. They don't spread their development dollars evenly. They bet big on their future stars. So we've got a tailored strategy, and we're executing the basics like pros. But there is one last piece, and honestly, it's the glue that holds this whole thing together. Pillar 3, leadership. And you really can't overstate how important this is. You can have the most beautiful people strategy designed on a whiteboard, but if the leaders aren't living and breathing it every single day, it is going to fail, period. Their personal commitment is what makes it real. In fact, what the study found was that in these top-tier companies, the CEO basically becomes the chief personnel officer. They see finding and growing talent as their #1 job, not something they can just delegate to somebody else.
And they don't just talk about it, you can see it on their calendars. Wayne Calloway, the CEO of PepsiCo, spent a staggering 40% of his time on people issues. 40%! He said, "There's nothing I do that's more important." Imagine the message that sends to the rest of the company.
So what were these leaders actually doing with that time? They were in the room for hours-long talent reviews. They were holding their managers' feet to the fire on the quality of their teams. They were personally signing off on important hires and promotions way down in the organization. They didn't just write down the standards, their actions were the standards. All right, let's pull all three of these pillars together and look at the complete framework for success that all these amazing companies shared. So there you have it, the three-part harmony. Number 1, you build a people strategy that's perfectly designed for your business. Number 2, you get ridiculously good at the fundamentals of finding and growing great people. And number 3, you make sure your top leaders own it, drive it, and live it every day.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This study was done a while ago. So that leaves us with one big final question. In today's world of AI, remote work, and just constant crazy change, do these ideas still matter? Are these 3 pillars still the foundation for success? Or are we playing a totally new game now? That's something worth thinking about.